the anointed ones are the chosen ones, are the ones that's choosing themselves.
Welcome to the Golden Age Goddess Podcast. We stand for peace, love, happiness, and abundance for all. Listen to your heart and soul's call, and we will encourage you to be bold, audacious, and devoted. Kim, Indigo, and Wind, helping you win by healing deep within. Only way to the Golden Age. Like, share, and subscribe today.
Peace and love, gods and goddesses. Welcome to another episode of the Golden Age Goddess Podcast, where we guide you through our intuitive insights on releasing density of 3D and expanding into the fifth dimension.
Yes.
I am your host, Indigo, an intuitive healing artist, force ambassador, and a holistic nurse coach. My mission is to help you remember love is all there is. I am accompanied by my beautiful co-host, and it is my pleasure to introduce her. She is a visionary leader who helps to bridge the gap between heaven on earth. While capturing Mother Earth in her essence, she loves to travel and host retreats, leading with love for the golden age. Help me introduce my beautiful sister, Goddess Kim.
Kim, yes.
Hey everyone.
Hey Kim, love you, girl.
Thank you, Indigo.
You're welcome. And last but definitely not least, to complete our divine trio in sacred sisterhood is someone I admire and love so deeply. This goddess is an intuitive spiritual mentor, specializing in teachings relating to the abundance of divine feminine Christ consciousness. She is a spiritual retreat facilitator, a divination dancer, a yogi practitioner with a focus on Kundalini yoga, holistic plant-based chef, and her food be good, honey, and a loving the creator of the 8 daily essentials, which we will be discussing in today's video. Please help me introduce my dear friend and sister, Layla Wind.
Peace, my loves. So happy to be here. And these are my dearest sisters. I love you both so much. Thank you, goddesses. Such an honor to be here with you all.
In this episode, we'll be diving deep into the divine feminine Christ consciousness and offering a simple but potent tool to anchor in the golden age.
Yes, super excited. Yes.
Super excited. You've seen our last episode. You know how excited we got when we started talking about the divine feminine Christ. So, without further ado, let's get right into it.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes. Perfect. We're going to be doing a candle ritual first.
Yes.
So we're going to go ahead and do that. So does everybody have their candles?
Yes, got my candle, the golden candle.
I got you, Indigo.
It's okay. And it's all good. Guess what? We're going to light a candle for our dear sister Indigo. And you know what you all can do? Again, tune into the inner fire, which is what I mentioned on the last
exactly
episode.
What I was going to say.
Yes. Tune into that inner fire. Get passionate, get excited, light yourself up, be the light in the world. And the best way you can be the light in the world is through your love.
Absolutely. So we invite you to grab your candle of choice and set your intentions as well. Yes. So fire is a sacred element and it's so purifying that it's one of the elements that can never be contaminated ever. Out of all the elements can never be. So as we light this candle, we would also light the sacred flame in our hearts, inviting in divine guidance, love, and healing. Please join us as we share our intentions for today's episode.
Yes. And I will speak my desire out loud. May this fire, this inner fire, burn away all that doesn't serve you. May it transmute all the fears, all the pain, all the negativity, all the toxicity, all the trepidations of the mind, releasing it in the fire wholeheartedly. That's what this year is all about. Let it burn. Feel the burn. Honor the burn. Because on the other side of that burn is pure bliss, pure ecstasy. And so it is.
Thank you so much, Goddess. My intention for this candle and for all of us today is that we hold high compassion and mercy for each one of us and everyone around humanity right now going through a hard time. May we always go back to love, compassion, and peace within ourselves and within all of the people around us.
Yes. Thank you, beautiful Goddess.
Thank you.
Yes, my inner heart flame, my intention is to bring healing on a cellular level, igniting light and clearing dense energy in each cell, each atom, each electron in our bodies, in our minds, in our soul, in our etheric, in our mental, in our emotional, and our physical bodies. That's my intention.
So it is.
So it is.
So it is.
Thank you, Goddess.
Thank you, Goddess.
Ashe.
We're so excited, and we're going to go ahead and jump right into the questions that we have today for everyone. And I'm so excited. I'll be starting the questions myself. So I'll go ahead and begin. What exactly does it mean to be a divine feminine?
As I was feeling into this question, it was very important for me to start off by making a distinguishing difference between just being feminine and being a divine feminine, right? So we know our feminine attributes of being nurturing, childbearing. A divine feminine is really bringing in unconditional love, right? And mothers carry that just innately, just by like having children and having to love them. Woman, a mother in her truest essence, who is connected with the truth of what that is going to be nurturing. It's going to be showing unconditional love. It's going to be compassionate. It's going to be kind. It's going to be forgiving and considerate. She's going to be the intuitive guide for the household. She's going to be in her attractiveness, because the feminine, the divine feminine, attracts. The womb is a space of entering. It's an attractive space. We allow, the masculine to enter us, and then we come together and create a child. So the feminine is that attractive energy. We don't chase, we attract. The divine feminine is also energy of vulnerability. And when we talk about the divine feminine and vulnerability, it's not a characteristic or attribute. It's actually strength. It's actually connection to the divine and trusting the unknown, trusting a higher power to lead us, and knowing that there's a bigger picture, there's a bigger energy outside of us or within us, also in and out, that is guiding everything, and we don't have to be in control. We don't have to, because the masculine energy is the energy that wants to be in control. They go out, they make it happen. And feminine energy doesn't need to do that. We are in our being. We are connected to just being, to attract whatever it is, everything that we need. And we know that the feminine is the creator. The feminine is that, that energy that brings things into life.
Love that.
I can go on about the divine feminine. So let me give somebody else a chance.
Yeah.
So many layers to it.
I know. Yeah. And we are going to go on and on in this
yes.
podcast. That is so beautiful, Indigo. And what stood out to me with what you said was the essence of the mother. The divine feminine is the ultimate mother. To me, that's the highest archetype. And it's not even really an archetype when we're talking about the actual essence of what it means in the totality of the feminine. She is the mother. She is the mother. She's also that unseen. The divine feminine is the unseen.
Yeah.
She can be felt. It's not what's tangible. It's really the esoteric energy. It is the hidden, but it's also very in your face. It is your intuition. It is your claircognizance. It's your clairaudience. It's your clairsentience. It's your divine knowing. I don't know. I'm hearing. Do you guys hear that?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder. Okay, it just went away. Sorry, guys. We had a little glitch. It's all good. Maybe that spirit wanted to repeat what I'm saying. So, what it is. Yes, the divine feminine is that unseen energy, but she's highly felt. She's felt more than the seen. And that's the energy that when you meet someone, you can, for those intuitives of us or those empaths of us, and empaths can be men, women, children, dogs, animals. We all have that feminine energy to be able to tune in and to know without knowing, without having any concrete evidence. The feminine, she's able to see past all the illusions of the world because she can see deeper. She can see the truth. She can see what's love and what's not. And that's that mother. The mother also knows her children, doesn't she? The mother knows her children. When the children think they're being children, the mother also knows when the children are about to get into something, when they're about to hurt themselves, she knows. The ultimate mother, the mother knows us more than we know ourselves.
Yes.
So that mother aspect of the divine feminine is that aspect of God, goddess, the divine, the goddess aspect of the divine that knows us and, like Indigo said, loves us unconditionally and will be here for us no matter what, and also guide us as a mother should, to make sure that we stay on the path of dharma, the path of righteousness, the path of love. And if we get off that path, guess what? She's going to love us regardless, no matter what, like a real mother should. So that is the thread of the divine feminine. And I also want to say that the feminine is the creative energy of the creative force of all things. She is the creative force of all things. From the womb is the creative center. Also, the heart is the creative center. And if you even look at the root word of heart, it's art. Art is the last part of heart. And so we create art through our heart. And everything can be art when it is done with love. And so that is the divine feminine to me.
I love that so much. How can I top that? Come on now.
Girl, you topping it through just being you. You topping it just being you.
Oh my God. You guys literally said everything I was going to say. I'll go ahead and
like Indigo technically said everything I was going to say. I was like, okay, let me think of something else to say.
I do want to add and comment and say that I love being a divine feminine. The beauty, the intuition, the compassion, just the overall being of a woman is so sacred and so sovereign. And everything the both of you said is so aligned and so beautiful and so amazing that for me it's all of that and much more. There's so many layers to it. But the divine feminine and the beauty and the essence and who we are is just so beautiful. So yeah, thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you, Goddess. Love that. And also, too, if anybody, as you're listening to this podcast, if you have any questions or you need clarity on anything, please leave a question down in the comment section. We'll be more than happy, all of us, to interact with you. This is an interactive space. And if there's anything that we're saying where you need deeper understanding, or what does she mean by that, or the esoteric or the unseen or whatever, the mother, like beyond our actual physical mother, whatever, please leave that question in the comments.
So how does the divine feminine differ from gender and stereotypical feminine characteristics? Yes.
I'm thinking Indigo should go for that one. You kind of already touched on it a little bit, you know?
The divine feminine, yeah, we kind of touched on it on the last question, but just to say, the feminine is not just boobs and a beautiful shape and, long hair, long nails, and the things that we think and identify with as being a woman or being feminine. A feminine woman, a divine feminine in her, we talked about the characteristics, but in her essence, even more, it's beyond just the physical like features. And it's like in all the aspects of life, you will see the feminine show up and express herself. Another thing that I like to think about when I think about the feminine and the masculine and the stereotype of how a feminine should be is that most of the women now in our time are very masculine. They're not even feminine in naturally we are feminine, but a lot of us have disconnected from the feminine attributes that is that softness, that vulnerability, that ability to communicate and hold ourselves accountable and others accountable, that ability to be in our flow, be in our feminine flow. The feminine is like the water. It flows. It is when we're in alignment with our being, we understand that everything is just like the river. It's just gonna keep flowing. And we don't have to go and force and fight our way to be heard, seen. No, a feminine, divine feminine is seen, not heard. She doesn't have to be heard because she brings the energy and the energy speaks for itself.
Yes.
Yes. And then also I like to just highlight just really quickly, the feminine and masculine is in all of us, right? And we scientifically, it is proven that the right side of the brain is the feminine side of the brain that is manifested on our left side of our body. And the left side of the brain, which is our logical side of the brain, is the masculine, more masculine side, right? And that masculinity it also plays its part. So just because we're talking about divine feminine in this video doesn't mean that the masculine doesn't, hold a vital part in the balancing of the two coming together. But we all need to balance both our masculine and our feminine attributes. And the reason why we're talking about the divine feminine in this video is because the divine feminine has been oppressed for so long. And a lot of people aren't identifying or even connected to their feminine side, their feminine attribute. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that. And when we bring those two sides together, our left and right brain hemispheres, we are truly in alignment with being able to ascend up and be into the fifth dimension, the golden age, and what that is about.
Absolutely.
Love that so
Yes.
much. I also wanted to touch on a topic like the divine feminine and the woman. It's like we birth creation and life through us. It's like, how much more powerful and sovereign could you be, beyond anything? It's like we birth life through us. I'm not a mother, but I've been around, amazing mothers. I know Layla Wind is a beautiful, has been such an inspiring role model for me in regards to the way that she mothers her child, Cairo, beautiful Cairo. And it's like, it just goes beyond, it goes even beyond like the gender, right? But at the same time, it's like the feminine is the creator, the birther of life. It's so sovereign to be in that energy where you're creating life through you, and yes, you do need that masculine, like you said, but it's like the woman is the one that bears all of that pain and that trauma through birth as well, so it's like that's what's coming up for me is like the woman is the strength, the creator of life itself. For
Absolutely.
me.
Yeah, for sure. And that distinguishes so much from like the characteristics of being the divine feminine, which is where we're talking about the hair, the makeup, the boobs, even just being sweet, kind of docile, um, very passive, and sometimes passive aggressive if it's the wounded feminine aspect. But when we actually are talking about that empowered feminine, we're talking about that again, going back to that pure unconditional love and that motherly instinct that we all have. And like as you were saying, Kim, like that mother, thank you for your beautiful honoring, but you are a mother as well. You mother yourself. You've
Yes.
given birth to yourself. You've
Yes.
given birth to your visions, like your beautiful
Mhm.
visions. That is that divine feminine energy. She's like a master manifester. That girl be going, she went into it came back from India, like manifested like instantly going to India. Like talk
Yes.
about the divine feminine. The divine feminine is also that magic. It's that miraculous energy.
Mhm.
It's that miraculous energy. And that's the love that our mother has for us, is that we can create miracles and um, literally out of thin air, just through our love, that's just through our beingness, by us
Yes.
following our passions and our hearts. And that's
Mhm.
the miracle consciousness. And so that is what distinguishes. And again, like Indigo said, we all have access to that. It doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man or whatever. We all have access to that. So that's that divine feminine energy. And even speaking on what Indigo was saying about vulnerability, vulnerability is key, very key. But when you're in that feminine essence and you're around other feminines, it's easier to be vulnerable because you feel safe. So if you're with a safe mother figure or a safe father figure, whoever, a safe human figure,
Yeah.
you feel safe to be vulnerable. And that is that divine feminine as well. So it works hand in hand, the vulnerability and also the vulnerability being in a safe space.
As we talk about mothers, just take a moment to just share, because my mother has been a huge inspiration for me, even in my spiritual growth and development, even in my holistic practices. She inspired me through her own endeavors, through her own will to do better for herself, eat better, and provide a space for us, her children. And I see my mother make a way out of no way. The strength
Mm,
of a mother, the
yeah.
ability to pull some scraps together and make a meal that feeds the
Mhm.
whole family,
That magic. Mhm.
it's magical. The
Yeah.
divine feminine is magic. That is
Mhm.
the true
Absolutely.
magic.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
I
So
Yes.
love
that's
that.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm feeling
Yeah.
called to take a moment to honor all of our mothers right
oh
now.
Mhm.
yes.
A moment from my heart to send our
Yeah.
mothers so much love for doing the best that they could in the
Mhm.
best of their capability.
Mm. Absolutely. They
Mm.
need it. We need it. We all need it.
Yes.
And also to the mothers of all of you watching, all of our
Yes.
mothers, even if you don't have the best relationship with your mother, because that's a real thing, especially the mother wound. The mother wound is huge in the collective. Not all of us have had the best mothers, but recognize that they've been hurt as well. And a lot of them, they didn't know the way. And it's not to excuse behaviors. It just creates understanding, more compassion, as Kim said, more grace, and just praying for them, praying for them and also praying for ourselves, and ultimately changing that ancestral coding through creating a new way for ourselves, and if you weren't mothered correctly, this is a beautiful time for you to mother yourself.
Yes, mother, that inner child. Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. So the next question we have is, what are some examples of how divine feminine shows up in our everyday facets of life? Who would like to go first?
Ooh, I'll go first on this one.
Yay!
For me, I connect so much with Mother Nature. Like Mother Nature, the divine feminine shows up to me in Mother Nature every single day. from grounding in the grass, from grounding in the trees, from looking at the sky. It shows up as that divine force, through air, fire, wind, earth. It's like just so powerful and magnetic, like the divine feminine. So for me, that's the way that I connect with Mother Nature, and reminds me so much of the divine feminine and our power and our strength. And even being out, out and about and seeing other women and seeing, little girls, or, teens, or, elderly women. I just always take the time to hold so much love and compassion in the spaces that I'm in for all the mothers, and of course the masculine as well. But I feel like in Mother Nature and around me in every space that I'm in, I'm always honoring consciously the divine feminine.
I love that. So beautiful.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
For me, I see Mother Nature show up in nature as well. I pay attention to the cycles of, the changes in the seasons, and Mother Nature shows us the best way that we can be in synchronicity with that. If you follow the flow of nature and the seasons, then you are following the flow of nature and the seasons within yourself. So as you know, we have fall, autumn, when the leaves are falling off. The trees are not complaining that the leaves need to fall away.
Yeah.
We need to be able to let things dissolve, these things that no longer serves us. When we're saying that, we have to be intentional about that. We have to really do the work to let those things go, not hold on to them, continuing going down this downward spiral into the psyche of how these things work, because where energy goes, energy flows, right? Yes, we need to give it our attention, but then we need to transcend. We need to transmute those things. So as those leaves fall away, we let them fall as they may, right? Yeah. And then we go into winter, where we go into isolation. We created some space now so that we can go in deeper, and we can isolate and cultivate the energy that will then spring us into action when spring comes, right? This is in winter. This is our time for actually creating those things that we're gonna bring and share with the world in spring, when the flowers are blooming again, and the trees have back leaves on them, and it's nice and green and lush. That's that same energy we have within us. And in the summer, we're just like steady in our bright, shining light, sharing it with the world. Go back into that cycle again.
Yeah, like they say, we outside in the summer. We outside.
Yeah, and I wanted to touch on something that you mentioned yesterday that really touched me, Indigo, during our call, is that during the winter, like, people tend to get more depressed, and I'm like huge on that, because during the cold in the winter, I just want to hibernate like a bear,
Absolutely, and that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
We try to force it. When we try to go against what nature is forcing us to do, then we kind of like, then we feel depressed. We suffer the consequences of that.
Exactly. So when you said that, it like hit me like, whoa, that's so true. Like, making that mindset shift, like, no, it's time to go deep within. It's not time to be depressed or sad. It's time to let go of the things that we need to let go. So wow, that was so deep. Thank you so much for that.
Yes.
Thank you for reminding me about that, because it totally slipped me. I mean, as we just talk about it and it's coming out, but yeah, seasonal depression is a real thing. And it's usually because you feel like you're not doing what you need to be doing, when what you need to be doing is resting. What you need to be doing is going deeper within,
Yes.
And then also just one more thing. with nature and Mother Earth and the soil, as we mentioned, Layla mentioned earlier about it being that the void, that space where it's the fluid field of unmanifested potential. We can plant seeds in the soil that will then sprout up in the spring.
Yes.
That is what nature does. That soil, that the intertwining of all the trees. They're not complaining that they don't have their one spot. They all connected. All one leaf. One leaf communicates with the whole tree.
Mhm.
That leaf ain't saying, I want to be an individual leaf, you know?
So true. Yeah. I love that. Yes. So, such beautiful talking points, ladies, and beautiful perspectives. Going back to nature as well, honoring those cycles and honoring the cyclical nature of life. We're going to go through ups and downs. We're going to go through where we're spiraling up. We're going to go through, even in that spiraling up, we may hit obstacles and we may feel like we're going down again, or whatever the season, which may cause us to take a step back, or where the leaves are falling, our life is falling apart, or where we're shining, we're getting a chance to shine bright, or our life is shining, or we're having our moment, so to speak. Are those times where we're going back to the drawing board? Are we, if that's the spring energy, going back to the drawing board? Also, and yes, seeing the fruits of our labor, seeing the fruits of our intentions. We're going to be going through all these different cycles of life. And what's coming to me is how you can notice that divine feminine nature is to notice your perspective, to notice your mindset, to notice how you look at life, how you look at things. And even going back to the winter example, which these beautiful goddesses so wonderfully articulated, is to notice, that's your litmus test, is to notice your mindset. So some people can go through winter and see all the beauty in it, and they can honor and cherish that time to rest. But then someone else can be in that winter space, and because they don't fully understand how to honor all the cycles of life and all the cycles of nature, that they have that resistance to it. They have the resistance to the rest. They have the resistance to the introspection. They have the resistance to even the beauty, the different form of beauty. Even cold has medicine. Fire has medicine. All aspects have medicine, but if we can actually learn to see the beauty in the medicine and change that perspective, you change your experience, you change your reality. And that is also the beautiful way you can see the divine feminine. And you can litmus test this by actually looking at how you view life in any aspect of your life. And usually when we have that alchemy, magician energy, which is that powerful, witchy, divine feminine energy, where we're able to see things from a higher perspective and be those master teachers, master alchemists that we all have within inside of us. That's when we really can see, like, wow, our thoughts, our energy really creates the reality. It's all about the mindset shift. So when we want to experience more flow and more receivership in life and receiving more of our blessings, our divine inheritance, so to speak, we'll usually notice that when we're more in our hearts and we're more in the flow and we're less in resistance. And I'm a testimony to that. I always see my life coming with abundant blessings, usually out of thin air. Not to say that I'm not doing any work towards it, but usually the miracles happen and they just flow together so beautifully when I'm fully in my heart. But when I'm actually, where that ego creeps in or just those human trepidations come in, that's usually when I block those blessings from coming in. So that's a beautiful way to notice the divine feminine within all of our lives as well.
Ooh, I love that, Lynn. I love that. And I just want to just add to what you said, like what came to me when you said about the cycles of life and how we have to just kind of allow ourselves to flow through them. It's also releasing the attachment to the highs and accepting the lows as well. Because the lows have beauty in them as well. Just because we don't see it, or maybe our perspective at the time may not think that it's abundance because we have to be in this time of rest and we're not really attracting all the things that we would like to at this time, because we going against that we have an attachment to this is how it was, and it's not like that right now, so it has to be bad. It's not bad
Absolutely.
because it's not like it was before. It just is different. And if like you said, when we shift our perspective to see the gift in every moment, then we can go through the highs and lows and it don't feel like such a tumultuous experience. Yeah.
Feel like we're on that roller coaster, like, get me off. Like, no, just enjoy the ride, okay? Just
put your arms up and say, yay!
Yeah. That high drop is just, it's over. It's going to be over in a second. Just
exactly. Yes.
I love that. Absolutely.
And I wanted to share something in regards to that as well. Using the breath during those hard times, going back to the breath has been very, very crucial for my growth. And during those times of like being in the low spiral, using the breath to connect again, to connect with self. Because when you breathe, you're not thinking, it's like that moment of like, what are you going to do in that moment of making that decision? It's like, take a deep breath. And like you said, when having that awareness, and that awareness is key. Breath and awareness is key to every decision that we want to make. That's going to either put us in that up spiral or that down spiral. It's that breath and awareness.
That's right. That's so true. Yeah, absolutely. That breath automatically, it's that your breath is the inner wind. So when we tap into that inner wind, we are coming now, we're taking our breath up to the mind, and we're traveling that energy down to our heart and even down to our diaphragm, to our root, so we can become centered and grounded and find our center. So yeah, and Kim's right. It starts with that awareness. Absolutely. Yes. Love that, ladies. Thank you.
Love it. What is the true meaning of the return of the Christ?
Indigo really touched on this beautifully last podcast. If you haven't watched our last podcast, please go check it out. It was absolutely wonderful.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Really
yes.
Gems, deep gems in that podcast. And this is kind of touching on it and expounding on that as well. But absolutely. I mean, all of us said some really profound things, in regards to the Christ. And I mean, I love what you said, Wynn, as well. So, I mean, definitely check out that last one. So we're going to link the card.
Something that touched my heart through what is the true meaning of Christ that I've learned that my beautiful sister Wynn has taught me is she always says the Christ is the anointed one. And for me, that means the Christ is the one that all of us have the power of the Christ and to connect with source. So for me, it's like that the Christ is the connection to source. For me, that is what is coming through, what is the true meaning? Yeah, the return of the Christ. It means that it's time for us to go back to the true meaning of the connection with source.
Yes.
That is what's coming up for me. Exactly. It is the true meaning of the connection with source in our sovereignty and divine being, is being able to have that sacred connection with source. That is what's coming up for me with this question.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. For me also, because I've already said a lot about it and I don't want to just completely repeat what I've said before, but it's also the teachings of Yeshua manifested. That's what I feel about the return of the Christ. It's the teachings of Yeshua now manifested and the realization of our divinity, of our gifts, of our enlightenment. And this is us being filled with light. And the light is our connection to the sun, our relationship with the sun, the biggest light, the one that comes every day, never late with our abundance. It rises with devotion daily to do its work. Right? It's radiating the most divine light that we can receive. And if you're not straight and narrow with the sun will burn you up.
Oh, you better respect it.
You better come correct.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, that's enlightenment, the light within us. And as we connect with the sun, with our light within, we lighten up each and every one of ourselves, and that density that's in each atom is then is transmuted out.
Yep.
Mm. Yes.
Then you brighten up even more. Just like if you the sun, when I connect with the sun and I'm talking with the sun and we having our conversation, the sun be radiating more. It was
Yes.
brightening up even more, like it's shining and smiling. And I feel that.
Mm.
Yes.
In that telepathy, you can connect with that sun. The sun will bring you up.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
the return of Christ means to me.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. So true. Yeah, the return of the Christ is the return of the true human being. It's the return of the pure, loving, true. Like a lot of us have been so not only tampered with, we've been so programmed. Um, that rabbit hole goes deep, and that's a whole nother podcast for another time.
Podcast for another time.
Yes, how our DNA has been manipulated, even through more common ways that most of us know. Like there's some very sinister ways that our DNA has been manipulated, but the most common way is through even the food, the air we breathe, and also, again, how we're thinking, how we're showing up. There's something called neuroplasticity where your brain shifts depending on your experience in life. And our brain can actually mold and shift and change. And that's a lot, actually, how a lot of psychosis happens, how a lot of brain disorders happen, how a lot of dysfunctional behaviors happen is because going down that downward spiral, as Kim was saying, of where we keep allowing ourselves to be attached to lower vibrational things, lower vibrational energies. And a lot of that comes from ourselves. I know that's a tough pill to swallow. And I'm not just, and it doesn't mean that you're a bad person or any of that. That's not what I'm saying. It's because of our choices. And so when I even think about Christ, the return of the Christ, the anointed one, I'm also thinking of the return of the chosen ones, the ones who are choosing themselves, the ones who are choosing love over fear, the ones who are choosing to take the higher road, the higher path, the ones who are choosing no matter what, even when my ego is literally it blowing up and in my face, I still have the capacity to return to love. I still have the capacity to breathe deep. I still have the capacity to keep going. That's the miracle. Like even going out in this dense world and being able to drive a car down the road and people aren't just crashing all into each other is literally a miracle because this world is freaking crazy. It's freaking crazy. And people are going through so much. And the fact that we could literally walk out of our house and get in a car and people are not in an accident like every 5 minutes, because I don't know if you all can feel it, but I can feel it very heavily. People are going through it tough. And I'm sure we can see that firsthand in our families, with our loved ones, through the choices, and even with ourselves, right? And God forbid you're watching the news all the time. Please don't do that because that will run you crazy. Long story short, coming from long-winded wind, definitely.
I feel like I'm taking the page out of your book, Lynn.
Yes, goddess. Yeah, hey, it's okay. We speaking from the heart, so it is what it is, right?
Exactly.
Yes. Definitely the returning back to your true self, the truest, purest form of self. That's the return of the Christ, that one that's directly connected to source. And how you get there, we're going to talk about that later on in this podcast.
Yes, I love that. That is absolutely what it is. I shared with you guys this recently, the knowledge book, and in the knowledge book, it refers to the genuine human being. It speaks about that a lot. So I love that you said that because that is what it's about. That is what it's about. Yeah.
Right now we're a whole bunch of human doings. We're not the human beings that we're supposed to be. That's why we call ourselves the bad bees, like emphasis on beingness. And then also the bee represents the actual bumblebee coming together and creating sweet results in life, that harmony and that sweet honey coming together. So yeah, love that.
And then our follow-up question to that is, what does Christ mean beyond the human avatar, Yeshua, also known as Jesus? And I would
Yes.
invite you guys to write in the comment section as well and give us your point of view as well. We invite the conversation because it allows us to share and go deeper. So please write in the comment
Yes.
section below.
Yes, and we can converse with you. Yeah, this is, like I said, this is Soul Family. We're creating Soul Tribe. So if you're connecting with what we're saying, and again, you want to know more, or you actually have some input for us that you think we need to know, please let us know, because we want to talk to you. We want to connect.
Absolutely.
Yes. So I will answer that. So again, what does the Christ mean beyond the human avatar? So when we're talking about the avatar, we're all avatars technically because we're really souls. This is just a human bodysuit. So we're the avatar in this matrix. And if you're not really understanding these terms, completely understand, but if we were to just break it down in layman's terms, matrix, just think of duality, a false simulation. And you may be thinking like, how is it a false simulation? Everything is real. Well, when you go into dreamland, is that real? Think about that. When I can go deep into all of that as well, but really what it is, it's a duality. We live in a world of where we're experiencing deep joy, deep love, and then deep fear and deep hate. We all have experienced that. And so, when we're looking at Jesus, he was that physical embodiment of the Christ. Just like women are the physical embodiment of the divine feminine, and men are the physical embodiment of the divine masculine, although we have both. Mind you, emphasis on physical. Christ was the physical, Yeshua was the physical embodiment of the Christ. And get this, before Yeshua even came here and was incarnated on this planet, the Christ consciousness already existed. Christ consciousness already existed. It's that thread. He was the avatar that was chosen to come down and incarnate as the embodiment of the Christ to anchor in these teachings that apparently left a legacy of love. And thank goodness for Christ, because without his, even though the world is in shambles, we probably would have already obliterated. When I say we, I use that lightly, but I say we because we are a human collective and we are one. As a human race, we would have probably obliterated each other if we didn't have even an ounce of that Christ consciousness coming through. And now we're in that age, the golden age. We're in that age of awakening. We're in that age of Aquarius where that Christ consciousness is needed more than ever. And people, and it's interesting because we're experiencing so much duality more than ever now in the world. And so like you can feel it, like people are on edge. They are on edge. And people, it's like they're one word away from like losing their stuff. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I mean, I'm sure we can feel it. And you can see it because there's a lot of scary things going on. I mean, just being honest, I mean, there's a lot of scary things going on. But it's necessary because it's pushing us deeper. It's like, because time seems to be going by so fast, because of all the pain and suffering in the world, it's pushing us. Either you're going to go down that downward spiral and it's going to be really bad, unfortunately, by your own choices, or you're going to do whatever it takes to have your peace, to have your love, your happiness, and your abundance in this lifetime. You're alive and you're worthy. So why not try that? Try it. So that's that Christ. It's that thread of consciousness, that thread of unity, that thread of love that anchors us all in together.
Thank you, love.
Beyond Christ, beyond the embodiment of Yeshua.
Yes. And something that was coming up through that too, in regards to like all the turmoil and, pain that's going on across the world. It's like moving into that new earth as well. Like the world is shedding the old skin, the world is moving into higher dimensions, and we're going to see a lot of that duality. And, like you said, Wendy, it's all up to you to either choose that down spiral or that up spiral. But just know that there is support out there. There's people that, no one's perfect, but there's people out there that truly want to help and support each one of you. And we're all here to help bridge that gap. if you are going through, tough times. That's why we created this beautiful Golden Age Goddess podcast, for all of you to be able to build up your knowledge and also embody some of the things that we're teaching here, because we're the ones that are doing it as well. We're practicing and doing this each day to help us get through these times of turmoil and craziness around the world.
Yeah, exactly. And that inner turmoil as well, the inner turmoil.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's really in the inner world.
Yeah. God needs a body, and when you pray, we pray for guidance, assistance, help, some type of something, some sign, some miracle that may come through human angels, and when we are too caught up with things that are going on in our mind, our emotions, we're not able to be present and see when a human angel is standing right in front of us.
Absolutely.
And to see the gifts in everything, not just nature and the cycles and the ups and downs, but in everything. You can get a gift from a bird. A bird can come and give you a message that shifts your life. In that moment, but you have to be able to be humble. You have to be able to be open, receptive to receive that which you are praying for, that which you are looking for. Because as soon as you tune in to see, you will realize it's right in front of your face. It's right in front of your eyes the whole time.
Yep. Yeah, literally, it's been not only in front of your eyes, it's been in you the whole time. Everything you're looking for. Everything you're looking for. Yes.
Look within.
Yes. All you're really looking for, all you're really searching for actually is you.
Is yourself.
Yeah. So true. It's right up under our nose, our lips, our skin. And I love that what you said about God needing a body. That's a beautiful perspective and truth to give, because that's the experience of this earthly realm, in this incarnation, in this level of density. We are very much in a physical realm. So, when we're able to even vibrate, even past these illusions, we can see the physical manifestations even beyond this realm by raising our vibrations. And so, yeah, pay attention. It's true what Indigo was saying. We need to pay attention. And that also is the Christ consciousness, and also that energy of we're always supported. We're always loved.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So the next question is, why in this time right now, why in this time frame, why is there now the heightened energy of the return of Christ merged with the divine feminine? Why is that happening right now? We kind of touched on it, but we can touch on it a little more.
I mean, look at the world. This is the time. Come on now.
Come on, just look, right? Just open your eyes.
It's it's here in your face. The disrespect, the fear, the scarcity, the pain. It's here. They're not longer trying to hide it, They're not longer even something that I seen briefly the other day of Elon Musk doing
the Nazi salute,
something like that. Yeah. It's in our face.
In your face. Ooh, girl, you come on. I got something to say about that. Yeah.
It's in our face. And when, you guys said that when the duality is in your face, there's proof, there's truth of duality in your face. What better time than now for the return of the Christ? Stats. Yeah. We needed stats to save our humanity,
Yeah.
And going into the new earth and the golden age, we are so sovereign, and we cannot live like this anymore. We cannot live in fear. We cannot live in pain And it's up to all of us to continue to do the work. And that's why I feel that the return of the Christ merging with the divine feminine is very needed now. And that's why I feel like it's here and it's coming, because the love is going to win. The love is won. It's already
love has won. Yeah.
Love has won, and it's already done. Because it's ridiculous at this point how in your face it is.
A whole clown show, to be honest.
People twerking at the presidential campaign. Come on now.
Yeah, shit show, like Nazi salute, literally. Like, I mean, we don't want to get into politics, but come on, like Kim said, bingo, it's in your face. Like, I just heard something, and I'm not one to really watch the news because I don't like to, you know, it's just too low vibrational. But occasionally I'll check in just to hear just to see what's going on in the matrix, you know, just to peek in and see what's going on over there.
Be aware, just to be aware, but not attached to anything. Yeah,
just being aware of what people are going through and hold compassion and love in my heart. But yeah, like even seeing what the so-called president just said, I mean, even with one of the plane crashes, like they were like asking him, are you going to go visit the plane site? He's like, what am I going to go visit for, to swim?
Yeah, so
that's what you say to people.
It's the dismantling of that false reality, that false matrix, and it is so in your face that you have to see it. You can't choose to stay asleep and unaware anymore, because if you want to see it or not, you're gonna see it, especially in this time, in this age, this digital age. It's gonna be trending. So even if you didn't want to see it, it's gonna show up some way, somehow. So nobody can say that they want to be ignorant to anything any longer. No, you can't.
It's too in your face.
It's going to show you.
It's apparent.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I want to say too. That is actually the mercy of God right now, is that it's so in our face that it should be easier to make the decision to say, wait a minute. I can no longer support this. This is wrong. This is not love. This is not unity. This is not compassion. This is not kindness. Just look, everything you see, this is not necessary for what's needed for awakening. Like, we're literally living in, I feel like, a mental asylum. We're living in a clown show, a whole circus. And that's why we're in the age of awakening. That's what the age of Aquarius is. The age of Aquarius is the age of information. And they're making it so obvious now in your face that now really ascending is more than a choice than ever. I mean, that's what makes you the anointed one. That's the Christ consciousness. That's why I say the Christ consciousness, the anointed ones are the chosen ones, are the ones that's choosing themselves to say, you know what, I can no longer be a part of this. This is wrong. And this is in every aspect of society, from the medical system, from the education system, to the politics, even in our own families. And again, going back ultimately within our own selves. Where have we been living a lie? Where have we been separated from each other? Where have we not been true? Where have we been quiet in silence when wrong has been happening to others and including ourselves? Where have we done wrong and treated people horribly?
Yeah. And what are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
Are we going to continue to perpetuate the same cycle? Or are we going to go to the light? Are we gonna follow the teachings of Yeshua instead of just calling on Jesus and waiting for him to return? Actually, that's not going to happen.
He's already in our soul. He's in our spirit.
Literally, it's within us. Is no one going to come to save us? We have to realize we are our own saviors. We are here to save ourselves.
Yeah.
So that's what you know what I'm saying? On a deeper level, that's what that's about, the return of the Christ. That's what the return of the Christ is, realizing that we are the ones we're waiting for.
That's right, Goddess. Yes. You are the one you're waiting for. And together that makes the we. Together that makes the we. Because when you realize you're the one you're waiting for, guess what? You're going to attract other people who realize they're the ones that they've been waiting for. Other masters. And that's the thing about the master teachers. We're now in the era where everyone becomes the master teacher. There is no more master students. It's no more of a superiority complex, because we live in a authoritative oligarchy, so to speak, where just a small amount of people control the world. No, we're now going the golden age. When we shift our level of consciousness, we're not controlling ourselves. We're controlling our reality. And you'll start to realize that you can be amongst other people, but everyone is experiencing a totally different reality based on their level of consciousness, based on their level of love, their amount of love, I should say, that they have on their heart, their purity of heart. Which just a side note, I'm excited for Kim to be teaching us soon, the Sacred Heart teachings, which will help you go deeper into that heart knowledge. So excited.
So excited.
Just had to get that little sample, because there's some juicy goodies coming with that. Really excited.
Right? I feel like we went on into a tangent, but the question was, repeat the question just so that we are just clear for anybody who maybe just needs a why.
Actually, I think we answered it. The Christ merged with, why is it necessary now? We talked about it. It's necessary now because of all the turmoil in the world. We talked about how it's so in your face. And but in terms of the divine feminine with the Christ, again, those feminine leaders coming online. Yes, those feminine leaders. Yes. But also it still goes tandem with the Christ energy, because again, that's that love. The feminine is that motherly instinct, going back to what Indigo was saying in the beginning, that motherly nurturing nature, that unconditional love, that a mother in a true father too. We're not just saying a mother, but come on now, the mother has just it on a whole nother level. The father plays his purpose too, of course, and they're both necessary and both needed. However, that mother's unconditional love, it's unlike anything. I mean, it will heal you for generations, heal your family line for a beautiful mother, and that mother's within you. So again, you get to choose to be the anointed one. You anoint yourself, actually. You crown yourself.
Yes. And I just want to say with that is also the remembering, putting it back together, putting ourselves together into wholeness, remembering our feminine and masculine side. Yeah, masculine has been, on a pedestal for so long, but so many are in our masculine and we're not connected to our feminine. And it goes back to the balancing of the two. When we bring the two together, then that's when we can ascend into the fifth dimension. That's when we can really embody the Christ consciousness. Christ was not just saying, I'm a man and I got to be doing this and you better get up and walk because I'm the man who said it. No, Christ was compassionate. Christ was balanced in his feminine and masculine, to know and have the faith that there's power in the tongue. That to have the faith that whatever it is that you want to do within yourself, you can. The power of the magical power of thought, not just wasting it on mindless things. No, we're intentional on our thoughts. If we're thinking things that are not in alignment with our higher selves, our I am presence, we're checking it immediately. We're checking the ego as soon as it comes in. And you have to learn these things. You have to learn what the ego is. You have to learn how the ego is going to show up so that you be able to shift when these things are happening. Because if not, we're going to be convincing ourselves through our egos and that what we're doing, what we're saying, what we're thinking is the right thing for us in that moment. And it may not be.
Absolutely.
Are men excluded from the return of the divine feminine Christ?
Ooh.
Duh. We just talked about that. Yeah, absolutely not. We just talked about it.
Yeah. You know what? I feel like men need it the most. Patriarchy has been in the lead for so long. And it's given men a false sense of masculinity, because then they feel as if they can't share, they can't show their emotion. They see crying or vulnerability as weak. And this is changing, because the shift into the golden age has happened. It's occurring right now. So men are shifting on so many levels. There's also an agenda on the feminization of men as well.
Come on now. And it's not the divine feminization. It's the
no. So we have mastered the doing and the manifesting, that the masculine is, those are the attributes of the masculine, and we've mastered that at this point. We know how to do, we know how to produce, we know how to keep going to work every day. We give more of our time. Most of us, we give our energy mostly to a company, to working, to doing, that we don't put that much time into our spiritual practice. So this is the shift. This is the shift into connecting with being. And the feminine is the embodiment of being. Overly masculine women has an opportunity to soften up too. Yes. It's not our fault. Some of it isn't. Yeah, we make our choice, but we're in a patriarchy, so we feel like we have to follow suit. And so many women have dominated men in some of those fields now, have done such a good job at producing and getting credentials and being educated, and that they've mastered masculinity more than men, some of them.
Yeah. In that aspect. Yep. Absolutely.
So, yeah, it's about bringing it into balance on a holistic level.
Absolutely.
So yeah. Definitely.
That's right. Yeah. And a lot of these women, like what you said, they're mastering their masculinity to a certain degree. Mind you, it's not on everything. It's just, they're very action-based, goal-orientated. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. But guess what? They done it at the expense of their peace. They done it at the expense of their self-love. They done it at the expense of their own personal desires. A lot of times, even at the expense of their health. And we see that in so many, if not just women, of course, men, women, everybody, sacrificing to work or what they think is a goal or money, yet their health is declining. Their spirituality, it's null and void. It's devoid,
It's just church on Sunday and then back at it again.
Oh yeah, church on Sunday. I mean, just going just to go, really.
Yeah.
And touching on that, what you said, Wendy, is like, and it's never good enough for this matrix. It's never good enough. More. It's like
it's never good enough even for you.
Not good enough. Yeah, exactly. Not even for you. So I've been in this space where like I've been very successful in this matrix job, right? But then I've also been successful in being in my feminine and manifesting things out of thin air, and now I'm just like, I want to be in my divine feminine. I want to be in my divine feminine. Exit plan ASAP.
Yes, exactly.
But, I see the difference now, and it's crazy. Like even reflecting on this topic, like what you said in regards to, the feminine being in that masculine over masculinity. It's like, whoa, it just did something right now to me in regards to seeing like how quickly I've manifested just being in my divine feminine flow and my peace and my meditation and my visions, things coming up, manifesting out of thin air now. And just, as I practice and move towards that, that's all I want to be.
Yeah. And then there's people who manifest like the money. They manifest like they can even be very successful, even multimillionaires, but there's still a void within. And you know why? It's because they don't truly have that soul fulfillment. They don't have that heart fulfillment. They got success again on a illusory level. They reached the titles. And again, nothing to take away from that. That's great. I think that's amazing. And at the same time, you know, you're not supposed to fill a void. You shouldn't be filling a void. We're supposed to be feeling whole and complete. And that's why there could be somebody else who maybe doesn't have a lot of money. And mind you, I'm not advocating for not having a lot of money. I feel like we should all have a lot of whatever else we need. So I'm not advocating for not having a lot of money, just to be clear. But there may be somebody who may not have a lot of money, but they may have more of that soul fulfillment. They may have a lot more of that soul fulfillment, more peace, and they may have a true soul tribe, like people who truly love them because they love themselves and they're going after their heart's desires. So yeah, really, really powerful. And yeah, sorry, Indigo, going off on that tangent again.
No, that's fine. No, just to say, you know, I'm advocating for a balance, because what is all the money going to do sitting down? You know what I'm saying? What is, like, people, we wish and we desire and we attain all of these things, like you said, and it never fulfills us. But then what is the money going to do sitting in the bank? If I had, a lot of money, I'm giving it away. I'm going to be helping those who don't have as much. So, it's to be of service and abundant on all levels. You know what I'm saying? That financial abundance will help us to be abundant in our nutrition. We can buy that and afford that organic fruits, vegetables, those, beautiful vacations where we get to go and explore and not feel restricted. You know what I'm saying? So in a balanced way, yeah. But why do you have to desire being multimillionaire just to be a multimillionaire?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, shouldn't you be desiring that in terms of like how you could be more in service?
Yeah.
What is it? Be more in service? Yeah,
right.
I agree.
Yeah.
How can I have a more quality life, even for myself, but also for others that are close to us and those we're called to help and those that we're meant to help, because everybody's meant to receive and to give. That's the Christ way, is to give and to receive. And that's the abundance right there.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's laws of the universe.
Yeah. I love that. So y'all got the question. Indigo answered that beautifully. Men are not excluded, period. I don't think there's anything else to say with that.
Ooh, so our next question. Woo! What the 8? Okay, wait, hold on a second.
Okay.
So now you give you the tools that you need to be anchoring in golden age, shifting into the 5th dimension. How do you do it? We're not just going to be talking y'all ear off, just telling y'all all of the miscreations that has placed us in, that we've identified with this false matrix. And yeah, that plays a part for us to understand that the duality, it is no longer, we don't need to be creating this from this place that we've identified with in the false reality for so long, the false matrix. They're tools. And Layla has created an amazing tool, like we said in the beginning. So what are the 8 daily essentials and how did they come about? Layla.
Thank you, Goddess. Thank you. You know what I will say, and you helped me with this, Indigo, in one of our conversations, it comes from source, but thank you. It was channeled by me in terms of ways we can anchor in Christ consciousness in a very practical way. And these are one of the first things that came in. There's actually, I have what's called an 888 pillar or portal of Christ consciousness. And so with each 888, there's each pillar. So one of the pillars is the 8 daily essentials, and it comes from source. And so what I was told through my higher self is that these are what everybody can be doing on their every single day life, their daily routine, in their own unique way, to anchor in that Christ consciousness, to anchor in their divine feminine spiritual connection, to anchor in their divine masculine connection as well, to anchor in that wholeness, that remembering that Indigo was talking about, of coming back to that wholeness that we already really are on a higher plane of existence. And so just quickly, for the sake of time, we're not going to go into much deep detail about the 8 daily essentials, but we can mention to you what they are. And my beautiful sister Kim had reminded me that I'm going to also be creating some type of correspondence and resources for you all that we will put in the description of this video so that you all can access this as well easily. So starting off with the first 8 daily essential, to me, this is also the most important because everything comes from this. This is your spiritual connection in nature. Spirituality and nature, they go hand in hand. And spirituality is just anything that connects you to spirit, that rises your spirit, that connects you to the divine, that connects you to your heart, that opens your heart, that brings you in that joy, that helps you get out of the mind, and that where you start feeling so fulfilled. And nature goes hand in hand because nature to me is the greatest, almost like, how can I say it? It's almost like a hub to regenerate and revitalize yourself. So whenever I'm in nature, that's when my spiritual, my clairs are the heightened. They're heightened. They're the highest. They're all the most online when I'm in nature. So spirituality and nature is the first one. Actually, I want you ladies to include, because you're familiar with it too. What's the second one? Who wants to speak on that? The second one.
The second one is exercise and nourishment.
There we go.
And what better way than moving energy and moving your body,
Yep.
and staying aligned with the nutrition, the things that you're putting in your body, the organic foods. I've recently introduced, I love the 8 daily essentials. They have created a huge impact in my life. And every single day I am working towards embodying more and more of the 8 daily essentials as I go. And with the exercise and nourishment, I've, and especially with the divine knowledge and love from my dear sisters, Layla Wind and Indigo, I've introduced a lot of organic foods in my life this past year, and I've lost some weight doing that. Woo! I feel healthier. My hair is longer. My nails are longer. My skin is brighter. I don't really wear
you're looking fine, girl. You're looking too fine.
So the second one is exercise in nature. And whenever we have that stagnant energy in our bodies, or we had a day that's full of chaos, like moving your bodies, moving that energy is just, I love to dance. Me and my dear sister want to go to commit every other Sunday, and we pop, lock, and drop it. And we pop, lock, and drop it. And we feel amazing when we leave that class,
Yes.
So much fun. But those are the ways that I use it in my life, the exercise and nourishment.
Yes. Yeah. And nourishing your body, like eating healthy, eating foods that are whole foods, trying to eat organic food that, the ingredients, like it's nothing that you have to like look up or something that was made in a lab, like nourish your body. That's the simplest way to put it. What's the third one?
Cleaning and clearing.
Ooh. Yes. Speak on that, Indigo. Speak on that.
That is just so near and dear to my heart. Like purify. Spirit gave me that download very clearly that this is all we need to be working at. Well, not all, but a huge part of what we need to be working on right now. In the clearing and the cleaning, not just of our physical space, but of cleaning and clearing our inner. And I spoke about this earlier about cleaning out and clearing out that dense energy within our cells. So on a cellular level, millions, trillions of cells in our body needs to be cleansed from experiences, situations, thoughts, feelings that we've had since we were in embryo, an embryo within the womb. From ancestors, because our ancestors, our grandmother had us in her, because she had our mother in us, in her, right? That's ancestral lines of healing that needs to be done on a cellular level that we don't really be thinking about. But that's where the clearing and the cleansing can go deep, 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 because it is in our DNA. We're rewriting that DNA, and we have new DNA scripts now into the golden age. That is supported with the cleaning and the clearing. And when you clean and clear, you become lighter. You feel when you become lighter, you're able to bounce up. You're able to,
Yeah.
you can't go up with a dense balloon, or you can't be the balloon flying up with density that's holding you down. If it's dense, you're going to be tethered to this 3D realm.
Yeah.
So we're so expansive. We're multidimensional. And in order to tap into our multidimensional selves, we have to clear and clean.
Yeah.
Cleanliness is close to godliness.
Yes, it's necessary. I mean, the goddess way is to be clean. Actually, you can't even allow in, if you're unclean and you even have an unclean space, it goes both way, internally and externally.
And
you can't even allow spirit. You can't hear spirit. I mean, goddesses don't even want to be in that space, to be honest with you. It's not a judgment or anything like that. It's just the energy is not in alignment. It's not a match. It's not conducive to allow that.
Absolutely. So it's about clearing our mental, clearing up our thoughts, clearing up our physical, our space, clearing up our physical body, what we put in our bodies, what we're eating, what we're drinking, clearing up our emotions. How are we reacting? How are we reactive, or are we intentional in the moment? Are we present and cognizant of how we move, how we think, how our emotions show up? Are we going to allow our emotions to lead us, or are we going to be in control of that? Are we going to be able to make the choices that are in alignment with the divine will?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Are we spilling our energy, our life force by sleeping with dirty people?
Come on.
Clear it up. Clear it up. Clear up that physical one.
Clean that cooch. Clean that
the yoni steaming. Oh, yoni steaming.
Yes, yoni steaming. That's a physical clearing, but even on an emotional level.
Yeah. Yoni steaming, and get the pony steam too. Get the pony steam.
Yoni and the pony.
Hey, Genuine said it, so not me. Y'all can't blame it on me. Genuine said it was a pony. Okay, so get your pony clean.
The yoni and the pony gotta clean. That's what cleaning and clearing is.
Yes. Love that. So good. Indigo touched on so many great points with that. Cleaning, like she said, not just the home, but including the home and your mind, your body, your spirit. Because just think of it like this, and just, do you want to go into somebody's dirty home? Do you want to go into somebody's dirty mind? No, it's not. Oh, it doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel welcoming. It doesn't feel love. It doesn't feel peaceful. So that's how you need to look at it for your life and yourself. One step at a time.
Yes.
All right. And we'll give more, like I said, more information about all of these later, just for the sake of time, because, we really respect your time. Although this is a great way to spend your time.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, great way to spend your time. Please stay. I mean, hey, those 2 hours you spend on Instagram, you can be here for 2 hours listening to the goddesses. Hey, I'd rather listen to the goddesses.
And this right here, what we're doing right here, is included in the 8 daily essentials. So you don't gotta feel bad for taking 2 hours to watch us, because you will find out in a minute what you're gonna be doing with the 8 daily essentials when you interact and participate in something like this, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you could be exercising and listening to this. You could be cleaning and listening to this. And this is also a form of spirituality as well. Learning, literally, it knocks out so many daily essentials just in this one podcast.
Exactly.
Yes. Moving on, rest and integration, huge. It speaks for itself. We need to rest. We need to integrate. We need to clear. So going back to that clearing, resting is also a way to clear your energy and kind of have that necessary reset for our days. And again, just with daily human life, I mean, children got it right. We need to nap. And if it's not napping, at least just taking a moment to self and to sit in stillness and to just kind of, again, find your center, come back to self. So that speaks for itself. Rest and integration. Inner child play. Who wants to talk about that really quick?
I mean,
child play. Come on, Indigo. I know you're itching for that.
Go ahead, Indigo.
Yes, that was what I got when I was with you in for your birthday. That was one of the things that I pulled. One of the 8-day essentials was about inner child play. And for me, inner child play is so important because that brings in the joy, that brings in the laughter, that brings in the fun, that brings in the quality of life. It makes it enjoyable, you know, when you're connected to it and on a healed level, because that's when you really can be in that inner child play. When you've done that inner child healing, you've reparented yourself, you're the mother and father for yourself, for that child. You give that child what you needed, that you felt like you were missing. That way the ego was formed to protect you. The ego is not trying to hurt you in per se. It was a protective mechanism that came up to say, hey, this didn't feel good when that happened. I don't want it to happen again. So it comes in to try to protect you. But then in that protection, you don't have to protect yourself. Because when you're connected to your intuition, to your higher self, you are guided in everything that you do. There's no thing that you have to do to like extra to protect yourself when you're in alignment, when you're clear, when you're connected to your spirituality.
It's a natural protection, a joy from your joy.
Protection. It's not something extra that we need to do. It's not the control of I gotta protect myself, put a guard up, because that
I gotta prove something, right?
Or it blocks us from really being in our heart, really being connected to love, really being in vulnerability, really being compassionate. You know, really
it's so true.
Really being present to see the gifts in the moment. So that inner child, when that inner child is healed or healing and you connect to that inner child play, you find so much joy. It's so much fun, so much laughter. It just fills you up. It just like lightens you up like so much.
Yes, I love that. That's why I wanted you to touch on that, Indigo, because I know that was one of your big messages was inner child when you were out here. Love that. And what did you have to say about that, Kim?
Just everything you said, just playing. Like you look at little kids and they're just playing, having fun and joy and bliss. I'll see my little baby Natty, my little niece, and she's like playing here, and then she'll go over here and play, and then she's over here playing. I'm like, it's that inner child play, you know, and it just brings you back to a blissful and joyful state right away. So I love the inner child play, and it can be anything. Riding a bike, going to the park, hanging out with little kids, like it can be anything. You can make it into whatever you want.
Yeah, and inner children, they're the most authentic self.
Yes.
And they're very lighthearted, lighthearted until, again, children in their natural state, again, going back to the true human, is lighthearted. It's very authentic. That's why children say whatever is on their mind. They're not trying to be malicious unless they're mimicking someone else who's been malicious. Usually children, or it's in their DNA. I mean, that's, again, a whole nother rabbit hole. But again, going back to the true self, like children in their most purest form, they're very loving, they're playful, they're inclusive, they follow their hearts, they follow their joy, and they're very authentic. They speak what's on their mind. They have no filter, so to speak. It's never to hurt anyone. Unless the programming comes in and the bullying, that's a whole nother topic. We're talking about the pure self. Yes.
Exactly. Innocent. And I do want to add, I'm sorry, were you done, Wynn?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. I do want to add in that sense of imagination.
Yes.
That is so important because as children, we were so connected to our imagination. We played house. We played teacher. I know I did. We played cashier. And we were so much with our imagination. It was just expansive. It was so expansive, so fun. So we can, be in a whole nother world within our current reality that just like brought so much joy. So that also has to be, well, for me, I had to add that into inner child play, inner child healing, inner child development, because imagination is key. Is key.
Yes, so key. All right. I love, love, love that imagination. That was a great, great addition. Absolutely. Because imagination brings the images. The images in your imagination becomes a nation. The
Yeah.
images of creates the nation. That's what
Yeah.
imagination is when you break it down.
Mhm.
So powerful. It creates your reality, right?
It
Mm.
does.
Creates your
Something
reality.
I got a download when you said that, Indigo. I got a download with when the child is in that imagination, like when the children are in their imagination, that's true connection to source.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Are
Yep.
Yeah.
master manifestors. That just came through.
Mhm.
Like when
Exactly.
little kids are master manifestors. Like they
Mhm.
need something, the mom is there to give it to them. They need something. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, that
Divine
just
feminine.
came in. Wow.
Yeah. And it's very real to them. It's very
Mm-hmm.
real. It's very
Yep.
real. You couldn't tell them like the fantasy, the delusion. That's the
Yep.
real. That's the true Lulu. The Lulu is
Yes.
you can't tell them that that is not real, and you
Yeah.
shouldn't tell them because that's where we start conditioning them that no, what your thoughts, what you're imagining, can't come to fruition.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
yeah.
then it also opens us up to our multidimensional selves. Who is to say that
Mhm.
that is not real? On a
Yeah.
different level, it may be.
Yeah,
Yep.
because you couldn't tell me my Barbie world wasn't real because I had my Barbies had 2 boyfriends, we had a whole life. They were multimillionaires. My Barbies had a whole life. They literally had a
Yes.
whole life, and we had this for years. I'm telling you, we would get home from school, their whole life would continue. The Barbies, I just remember that, and they were like, it was such a real life for me, like
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
life, like as a
Yes.
child.
Yes.
I mean, it's just so cute and so
So
innocent. I love
cute.
it. Yeah. So the last 3, wrapping up the 8 daily essentials, is learning and reading. Of course, learning like you're doing on this podcast, reading books, also reading yourself, reading your own energy, reading your intuition, reading between the lines. Really powerful information. That's a rabbit hole in itself. But yeah, learning and reading every day and learning more about yourself. That's a powerful way to learn. It doesn't have to always be something like a book or a program or whatever, but just learning about yourself, being aware of yourself. Divine creativity, that goes hand in hand with that inner child, is to be creative, to create your life, to manifest, to imagine, to have those visions, to just allow yourself to get in the zone, to zone out and just have fun and play with it. Like, so powerful. I mean, everything comes from that divine creativity. Everything,
Yes.
everything on this
Yeah.
planet comes from that divine creativity. The last one is heart-based action. And heart-based action is all about getting out of your comfort zone, facing your fears. And maybe facing your fear for the day is facing the inner child. What does my inner child want? Maybe the facing the fear out of the day is maybe getting on your first podcast like us. Well, this is our second. So we've been faced our fears with that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Maybe facing your fear is just going for it. Something that gets you out of your comfort zone, that's from the heart, that's going to, again, fulfill your soul and is led by the heart. So super powerful. So those are the 8 daily essentials. And we're going to go deeper into that later on a whole nother podcast.
Yes.
Love that.
Love
So
that.
how has this helped your life? How has this helped your spiritual connection? And do you feel like this is necessary for all human beings on this planet? Why or why not?
Yes, I feel like these are definitely essential for our ascension, and in the way that they have been essential for my ascension personally is I feel like before I didn't have structure, and what
Mm,
the 8 daily essentials have done for me is build structure within myself, especially when you're going through a spiritual awakening. It can be very scary, you know, releasing the old and realizing that there's more to life than just the matrix, and that we have a spiritual connection, and that we
yeah.
have a spiritual purpose. So the way that the 8 daily essentials have impacted my life is it has built and is continuing to build the structure to my most highest self and my connection to source. And I mean, it has just been able to create that structure where I feel like I've been building up that momentum of going into more deep into my divine feminine. as well. So where I'm just manifesting things out of thin air because I'm staying accountable to the things that I know that are going to keep me aligned to my purpose. So if I'm having a bad day or something's going on where something didn't go well, what are the 8 daily? How can I do? What can I do? What can I create? What can I learn? Can I go exercise? Can I go be in nature? It's like an automatic mind shift of
Yep.
like something's going on, and it's not, you don't want to make it like tasky, not tasky, but
Yeah.
embodying it, like, oh, I remember feeling this way, not feeling good. I'm going to go and go in nature, and boom, one of the 8 daily essentials is done. So you just feel 100% better after you complete the 8 daily essentials because it automatically shifts your perspective and your state of
Yep.
being and being present. So that's the way it's helped me.
I love that. That's powerful. Thank you,
Yes.
Goddess.
Thank you.
Yeah. The 8 daily essentials is such a simple tool that we can use to help expand our consciousness, help to stay present in the present moment. Because the first one is about spirituality. And if we realize that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, so every moment is spiritual. Every moment. And when we align with that through our what we ingest, what we watch, what we see, how we paying attention to our thoughts and how we're thinking, we are going to be in alignment with the 8 daily essentials. And it's not something like I love how Kim said that it doesn't have to be tasky. Like I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do that in order to get here. It's so simple that you can just incorporate it in the most simple way. We're not saying you got to go to the gym 5 days a week. We said exercise, move your body.
Move your body, yeah.
Move it.
Yeah, just move it.
10,
15
15
minutes. 15 minutes a day, 10, 15 minutes at least. Just move. Yeah.
Right. And I think it also allows you to be a little more casual and not so feeling like 7 a.m. I got to wake up and meditate. By 10:30, I have to be eating this meal. But you know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have to be like that. It's a structure, yes, but it doesn't have to be so strict and feel like you got rigid. Like you have to do it in this way. No, it's however, and it can fall in that category. And just by sitting here watching this podcast, you have ticked off a few of these 8 daily essentials already.
Yep. Yeah. You sure have. It inspired you to do them yourself and make it your own way.
Absolutely.
Love that.
Absolutely.
Wow. Powerful. Yeah. For me, the 8 daily essentials have helped me fulfill my dreams. And I'm just getting started. I've hosted 4 retreats now, and I'm very proud of that. 4 spiritual retreats. The last one with my beautiful goddesses, beautiful Kim. It was very powerful. We definitely anchored in the golden age from that retreat and really set just open up a whole nother dimension, a whole nother portal, a whole nother timeline for us. And that's what led us also. Now it's like a domino effect. Now we're here with the Golden Age podcast with our gorgeous sister, Indigo. Come on. All of that from the 8 daily essentials. The 8 daily essentials builds not only confidence, and it creates purpose in your life. It creates meaning in your life where you're not just wasting your time. Time is not, even though time, that's a whole nother thing and paradigm that we could talk about in terms of it not being real, which it technically isn't. However, we still have a finite amount of time in this physical suit here in this dimension. And so a lot of us have desires. A lot of us, we want to be feeling good. We want to manifest it. We have dreams, we have goals, whatever you want to call it. I like to call it desires. And those desires, with the 8 daily essentials, you are now creating a foundation. You are fertilizing that soil, so to speak, with the 8 daily essentials to rapidly, if not instantly, manifest your dreams and your desires. Because that's the golden age way. And speaking of time, once you raise that vibration, it literally becomes instant, literally instant. I can't tell you how many times I've manifest it so quick. And this is not about, and I don't want anybody's ego to get involved. It's not about quick manifestation. No, it's about soul fulfillment. It's about being happy. It's about being a loving being. It's about being connected to source. It's about loving yourself and loving others and loving life. And that's what the 8 Daily Essentials do. It really creates that foundation, and you get to make it your own. Like Indigo said, you get to make it your own. And like Kim said, it's not about, I have to do this. No, you get to do it. You get to do it. You don't have to do anything. And when you shift that mind, I get to move. I get to eat nourishing. I get to be creative. Look at that shift just in that language. This is something so simple. I get to do that. I get to create. I get to face my fears through the heart-based action. I get to connect with the divine. I get to take time to myself. I get to pay attention to my inner child who I've neglected for my whole life. No shame in that. Most of us have. But now I get to finally pay attention to her. What does she want? What does he want? What do they need? Yes. What are their goals and desires? What are their desires? Yes. So 8 Daily Essentials changes everything. Okay. Everything. Yeah. You in the golden age with the 8 Daily Essentials. Okay.
Okay.
I can't wait for you come out with the workshops and the workbooks and the ebooks and everything around that.
Yes, God is. Yes, it changes everything. And you get to do it. You don't have to do it, but you get to. So it's your choice. Again, it's all up to you. All up to you.
Yeah, free will.
Free will, goddess.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else? Any other things else to say?
I think we did it. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. If you resonated with this episode, please go ahead and comment down below some golden hearts and to what you away from this podcast. What are you doing in your life? Is the 8 Daily Essentials something that you feel is practical to incorporate in your life? How are you going to start incorporating it? And if you feel called, please just go ahead and comment down below. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, beautiful goddess. Thank you.
Yes.
Magic.
Thank you, beautiful gods and goddesses. And just to let you know, stay tuned for our next episode where we're going to be talking about dismantling the false matrix and anchoring in the divine matrix. It's so necessary because, again, we talked about it in this podcast. We are living in very treacherous times, very dense energy. And this episode will help you lighten your load by being able to see the illusions of this world and tap into the truth. And again, the truth is love. How can we go on to that love timeline and get out of the fear timeline by not giving our energy and our time and our own fears to that? Like, let's starve that timeline. Let's feed the timeline of love. That's what our next podcast is all about. So we're so excited for it. Yes.
So much love.
I look forward to it.
Yes. Thank you so much, everybody. We look forward to seeing you all soon. And namaste. Namaste.
Welcome to the Golden Age Goddess Podcast. We stand for peace, love, happiness, and abundance for all. Listen to your heart and soul's call, and we will encourage you to be bold, audacious, and devoted. Kim, Indigo, and Wind, helping you win by healing deep within. Only way to the golden age. Like, share, and subscribe today.